Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Readout. Today we are checking out People of Reddit. Story 1. Made a guy think he got a hole-in-one. Years ago when I was a teenager, a couple buddies and myself were in a golf league. One day we had a group of cool guys behind us and they kept hitting into us all day. We are on the green putting when all of a sudden a ball comes flying onto the green. My buddies were pissed and told me to hit it back at them. However, I decided to put the ball into the hole and walk to the next tee. Beauty of it was, we got to watch the homie walk up thinking he just made an albatross on a par 5. He was stoked all the way to the clubhouse. Never told him, dude's been telling the story for years. Story 2. One upper was taken down a notch. I had a coworker Lorna who was very insecure and would compensate with having or knowing more than everyone else. She'd interrupt conversations to share what she knew. Another coworker Sandy and I were in a book club together. Lorna sees us talking and says she loved the book. I pretty much didn't think she read it because it's historical fiction and Lorna thinks history is boring. Sandy asks me if I think we should invite Lorna to the book club meeting. I said that would be great. She then sends Lorna the details and mentions she has a list of good questions for the group. At the night of the book club, Sandy starts out with a specific question about the book. All but Lorna answer. She asks another question and Lorna excuses herself to go to the bathroom. When she returns she says she has to leave because her daughter's car broke down and needs a ride home. The next couple of days Lorna is distant with me at work. At one point she asks me how did the rest of the book club go and I said it was great. We enjoyed the first volume so much that we plan to read the next volume. She said that I could have told her the host asked questions. She said had never heard of book clubs that had questions. I invited her to the next meeting and was given a defiant no as an answer. Story 3. Calling her fake quitting bluff. This happened years ago but still makes me smile. I started working in a corporate office in a secretarial position for my first job after college. There were two older ladies who were also secretaries working in the office. One of them was just fine, but I spent most of my time sitting beside and working with Agnes. Agnes was quickly approaching retirement age but wasn't going anywhere without a big push. This was in the days where we just started getting computers and she was absolutely hopeless. She'd pull stuff like I can't answer the phone, I'm on the computer. Multitasking was not in this woman's repertoire. She was super fussy, and annoying. If I ever came back from lunch 5 minutes late, she would exclaim loudly, "OMG, there you are. I was wondering what had happened to you," making sure the whole office knew I was late. Meanwhile, she was usually late coming in the morning, and often left early for various appointments. If I made a typo in a document, she would make sure the rest of the staff knew about it, loudly. She tended to pout when things didn't go her way, and she would quit her job when someone pissed her off, and then my boss's boss would talk her into staying. I'd heard about this tactic of hers and one day, our boss did something that annoyed her and she quit again. My boss's boss was away that day so I had my chance. I quickly advertised and planned a big retirement party for her. It was a done deal by the end of the day. People were dropping by and congratulating her and everyone looked forward to the party. At that point, I guess she figured it was too late to pull her usual shenanigans and she actually retired. I told my boss to not bother replacing her because it was damn easy to cover the little work she actually accomplished every day. Story 4. Thinking about just myself when I buy food with my own money. Okay, then I won't. So there is this place I love going to called Yayati. They are my favorite. So, I would go there to buy myself boba, rice balls, and gyoza. My mom, 53, and brother, 23, also grew to like it. So whenever I would go, I'd buy them things as well. My mom would give me extra money. But today, I decided to go again. Since I started working and had more money. Today I wanted to treat myself. But, my mom threw a fit. Telling me that I am just thinking about myself and not them as well. Even though I have bought them things several times. Every time I went. Naturally, that pissed me off. So, I just bought them food. Instead of myself. Didn't get myself anything. And I said to my mom, am I still only thinking about myself? She was not expecting that, lol. Then she had the audacity to say she doesn't want it. And said I am getting upset for no reason. Then why did you put up such a fit? Story 5. I'm a large child. My BF and just bought our first house and live about 1/4 down a dead-end street, with a cul-de-sac at the end, and for some reason our house is the spot for cars and delivery drivers to turn around. It's a stupid thing to be annoyed about, but BC it happens so often I got fed up enough to park my car horizontally at the end of the driveway to block it off. I just moved from an apartment building that was across from a public basketball court and we constantly had people parked in our lot taking up all the spaces and hanging out. I was looking forward to some peace and quiet and not having distractions while I work. I have ADHD and these distractions throw me off. I recognize this is the perfect example of a first world problem, but I'm also childishly proud of myself for this. Edit. Good lord, the anger from people. Calm down everyone, it's called petty revenge for a reason. To be clear, my car will not be living at the end of the driveway. I'm working and don't need multiple distractions a day. The car is being moved before it gets dark out so no one hits it and gets hurt. I'm not a goddamn monster. Furthermore, as someone stated, the delivery driver can turn around in the driveway of the house they're delivering to. Curious, if a house has a gate at the end of the driveway, do you consider them entitled BC they don't want anyone on their private property? Just feeling a bit petty. Oh hey look, the name of the thread. What a coincidence. Story 6. Tacos are the perfect revenge. My husband and I have been going back and forth about small nitpicky things lately. Just generally getting under each other's skin. Well, last night he really hit a nerve bitching about CO pays for my medical situation. Like, dude, let's worry about my health for once please. Anyways, I've been stewing about it all day, and decided to make a full taco bar for dinner. The man doesn't like tacos, so we almost never have them. I pulled out all the stuff, and even set up the taco sauce to make it extra appealing. The kids were ecstatic. Gobbled them up, kept going on and on about how amazing dinner was, wanted tacos in their lunch boxes next week. The whole shebang. Meanwhile, hubby had to silently choke his dinner down. It was amazing. And I feel so much better now. Story 7. Mess up my hair in 4th grade, I will mess yours up for life. So in 4th grade a buddy of mine decided that on Friday the 13th he would mess up my hair while saying "law machine." He then explained that he had no choice, because it was Friday the 13th. I can't say it bothered me, but I decided that I would find a way to do that to him on Friday the 13th from then on. We live states away from each other now and I still will contact one of his friends or wife or neighbor and ask them to mess up his hair on Friday the 13th. We're 52 now and I still manage to get someone to mess up his hair every Friday the 13th, I've missed a few to his delight. The best one involved me calling his neighbors one at a time with numbers I found by googling the names I found on the county's plat maps. I happened to find a guy that was going to a dinner party with my old friend that evening and had him mess up his hair mid-dinner party while saying "law machine says hi." Story 8. PAR for the course. This is a very old story but gets an A for pettiness and an A and for revenge. I worked at a place, guess what kind, that added a restaurant/bar. I set up the bar and a guy I soon became friends with set up the kitchen. It was small. Bar set 12 to 16, dining room set 40. The owners knew nothing so we started from scratch: recipes, glassware, plates, menus, drink menus etc. Both of us paid an agency to find us a job, common practice then, and we paid a fee to them. The place we worked paid half the fee, but if we were fired before we paid it off they were off the hook. Fast forward 6 months, me now good friend running the kitchen gets canned for no good reason. They told him we're just not doing each other any good anymore. They just didn't need him. He had the kitchen running, staff hired, recipes, everything they needed. They just didn't want to pay him, nor did they want to pay the agency fee. Well, that freaked me out, of course. I assumed I was next. They took me in the office and explained that they felt that he was not doing a great job, but I was, and they needed me. Liars. A week later I hear, "Hey, can I see you in the office?" where I get the "we aren't doing anything for each other anymore" talk. I had a hunch, so I said okay, but I wanted to take my stuff with me. Recipes, alcoholic beverage commission info, details on vendors, etc. They kindly offered me the opportunity to pick it up at a later date, but I decided I'd take it with me. However, they did an end around. They'd already copied my recipes days before, out my knowledge along with other stuff. I found that out a few days later from friends who worked there. I paid a server $20 to knock the recipe card holder off in the trash 2 days later and cover napkins. So kitchen guy and I go get drunk and come up with a plan. A very petty plan. We agree not to tell anyone about it, even our best friends. This could get us in jail. So we begin. On a Friday, kitchen guy calls all of the food vendors as the owner's son-in-law. Tells them we have a major event that next week. Orders 2 weeks worth of food. Steaks, lots of steaks. Ribs, chicken, produce, frozen food, a shitload of food. I call the bar vendors, as the owner's son-in-law, and order enough booze to keep Billy Bob's in Texas going for a week. Cases and cases of beer, many kegs, and cases of booze. But we weren't finished. We called the local paper and placed a help wanted ad. Told you it was an old story, since we served liquor. The law was that you had to pay for the ad first. However, the girl on the phone recognized our account and decided to post it without payment. The ad begged for help for all positions. We were paying 1.5x the average rate. LOL, the stars were aligned. Deliveries showed up 30 minutes after the owner, daughter, and son-in-law were all off the property. Truck after truck. And the poor girl, who was the only employee there, signed for everything. She thought it was a lot, but didn't know to send it back. She accepted everything. Then the applicants showed up. 55 people in line for a job. Okay, that was shitty. We didn't think that one through and caused a lot of PPL to waste time, gas, babysitters, etc. Dick move on our part. Our frontal lobe wasn't developed, so we learned from that. The son-in-law was standing outside screaming, "We are not hiring. Go home." They didn't. The food sat there for hours in the summer heat until the owners got back. There wasn't near enough refrigeration, so the frozen food, steaks, kegs, etc. all sat out in their delivery area. It wasn't air conditioned and had 4 home fridges to hold food. Basically a garage. The vendors wouldn't take anything back since it had sat out so long. Alcoholic beverages couldn't be returned by law. They lost it all. We had no idea the amount it cost them. But it beat the shit out of our fee they should have paid. We got calls from the owner, son-in-law, and everyone we knew who worked there. They knew we did it but couldn't prove it. We never admitted it and unbelievably didn't fess up for 25 years. God, that was a glorious day. First time I've shared publicly. It's a better story in person, but you get the idea. You're welcome. That's all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.